America's elite businesses up close and personal. We're with John, again, the owner of Inspectigator. And of course, once you master your product for as many years as he has, the transitions, the newness, you learn to teach it. It becomes who you are. And John, I think it's a great thing that you're doing. I want you to tell us the name of your university and the teachings that you're doing. I wanted you to say it because it's your baby.
Home Inspection University, Florida.
Okay, Home Inspection University, Florida here. Now, you're an owner of a home inspection company. Now, we talked a little bit off the camera, and you said, Chris, you know, I've learned, I want to eventually, as time goes on, to hire the right people. Well, the people that I hire are going to be the people that I've trained properly. Am I on the right track?
You're right on.
Well, let's talk about what inspired you and how many years you've done it and what keeps you moving.
Well, this is my 22nd year in the home inspection industry.
Okay.
And I was an instructor at another school for about 8 years-ish, give or take, something like that. And he was retiring, so it was like a perfect God timing thing, right, to start my own.
Okay.
So we started Home Inspection University, Florida, about 3 years ago, I think it was, something like that. And now it's completely, totally ours. We can do exactly what we want.
Do you tend to see other people's employees kind of migrate over to your university, or is that kind of like is it just mainly for the people that you've met that you would like to properly place and teach to eventually work with you? Is it specific?
The funny thing is, everybody who is and has worked for us has come out of one of the schools, except for one. So the school has been great. You know, I know what they've learned, and I know who they learned it from, and so the school works out really, really well.
I want to talk a little bit about the school, and if you're just tuning in, this is a podcast. You could be dialing this up at 2 in the morning here. We've got John, the owner of Inspectigator, home inspections for 22 years, the elite of home inspections, and now he teaches Home Inspection University. This was his idea, his thoughts. Kind of like the, what's the department called? An HR department. You're kind of like your own HR department. You bring the people in and you prepare them and test them to be good doobies for your business. Have you found a lot of success in it? I mean, what stands out the most of your teachings over the years? Do you feel like they migrate more into your company? Or do you really feel like you just refine people to be better people?
All the above, really.
Okay.
You know, the nice thing is we get the first pick, which is great.
Of course.
Everybody that comes through, and wish I could hire everybody, but we can't grow that fast. But it has been real nice being able to get to know somebody for a period of time. With the pre-licensure class, that's required by the state.
Okay. You
have to have 120 hours. So we fit it all into 2 weeks. So those are 8 to 10 hour days. It takes. You're with somebody all day, probably more than they are with their wife, right, at that point. So we get to know them, and you get to know not only their intellectual level, but their personality.
Okay.
Right, so it's been a huge advantage just having the school. We do the pre-licensure class. That's where we started doing those. We have expanded into doing continuing education for existing home inspectors. And, when we started doing that, nowadays, information is so available.
Sure.
You can get it anywhere, anytime. And you have to find some way to differentiate yourself as a company, as a school, because if you can't, then you are every other school or every other company.
Okay, I see that.
So in order to differentiate our school from everybody else, everything that we do is advanced. Okay, I'm talking outside the pre-licensure stuff. We do pre-drywall inspections in blueprint reading. We do advanced pool inspections, advanced electrical, advanced mechanical, advanced plumbing, defective building products, a lot of stuff, right? But it's all on more of an advanced level. It's not,
not the norm.
Right, it's not GFCI 101.
Okay. Well, that sounds, it's almost as if, and you really don't have to have any overly requirements. I mean, if you just want to get into the business and you want to study at a high level, then your school is the right one. Does it sound about right?
And that also reminds me, one of the things that differentiates us is our classes. We talk about multiple streams of income.
Okay.
Okay, so if you are interested in something particular, you'll have the Advanced Education Plus. We're going to go down that road, right? How to turn some of these disciplines into other streams of income. We go really deep into that. So that's one big thing that I have not heard any other school getting into.
Let me ask you something here. 22 years ago, when you started this company, what during those years made you become so different? I mean, every business has a streamlined approach. They have their business prospectus, and hopefully hard work and continuous education will give your company a heads up in competition. But like I said, you do things that are different, and they're all beneficial not only for your business, for the consumers out there. At what point in those 22 years did you feel like I need to take it up a notch, not just to say we are different, but to truly have products and people behind you that take it up a notch? At what point?
That's a good question. I guess that's just my nature.
Okay,
My degree was in building construction, and my dad was a GC, so that's kind of what I grew up with. That's what I knew. And in contrast with the home inspection industry, where it's primarily performance-based, you flip the switch, does the light come on? Okay, I want to know why the light comes on or doesn't come on. In other words, everything that we say and do is based on the building code or an ASTM standard or a manufacturer's installation instruction, something very specific. And I don't like being wrong, not that anybody enjoys being wrong, but when you say something's wrong, broke, or doesn't work, you're going to get called to the mat on it, and it's going to be an upset seller. It may be a real estate agent, and maybe another contractor, and you have to be able to say, I understand where you're coming from, but FBCR 311.6.7 states this.
Being a home inspector owner for as long as you have, what skills would you take from that have turned you into be a successful teacher here at your university? What skills have we inherited?
That's another great one. That's a nice softball. I love that.
Well, you're not getting many more softballs, so I just want to let them know right now. It ended right here.
Right.
You called me out like that.
Well, just like our inspection business is how we treat the education business. When we talk about the size of a pipe and the pitch of the pipe and how the pipe is protected, all those are based on a code, and we go over those. Okay, so whether or not you feel comfortable or you don't believe that you should be quoting building code is not the point here. When somebody goes through a class and it states that according to Florida Building Code this, that's why this is wrong, right, or indifferent, you're confident. So it's not just a guy's opinion, okay? Because I'm not a licensed general contractor, I'm not a licensed engineer, I'm not a lot of those things, but I can read. And according to this manufacturer, this ASTM, this building code, or whatever, it states it shall be done like this, right? So that's how all of our classes are operated. So when you go through that, you're confident, okay, John didn't just make that up. It's based on something.
Paper, right.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank John. He is the owner here of Inspectigator, and to be able to create a university and classes here. If anybody's interested in making good money, moving into a great profession, being a part of your university, can you give them some ideas, phone numbers, website where they can contact you?
The website is homeinspectionschoolflorida.com. Homeinspectionschoolflorida.com. All one long word. The phone number is real easy. It's 678-HOME.
Okay.
That was a lucky one, right?
No more softballs for John here. We want to thank John again for an incredible day. We had an interview with John about the new Inspectigator, which is pretty much the same old Inspectigator. You've been doing it good long before they needed it good. We thank him for his time. The university, I'm sure, is going to be a great attribute here for anybody who's looking to get in this business. My name is Chris Jones. We'll check you guys next week.